Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum. We are focusing on candidates who will appear in the primary election. This forum is for candidates for the City of Linwood Mayor. I'm your moderator, Lynn Carpenter, a member and past president of the League of Women Voters. Our candidates tonight for the City of Linwood Mayor are Jim Smith, George Hurst, and Christine Frizzell. The League thanks all of you candidates for running for office, for your willingness to serve the community if elected, and for participating in this forum, of course. It is the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose candidates or parties. We do take positions on issues which we have studied and on which we have reached consensus. The ground rules for this forum were sent ahead of time to all candidates, but let me just briefly explain the question and answer period, or the rules. The first 3 questions have been shared with the candidates. They are designed as an introduction to each candidate's qualifications and strengths. I will pose the questions. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to respond to each question. The 4th and final question will allow a 90-second answer. I'm going to see how quick you are on your feet. We're using the countdown timer that is visible to most candidates, and it shows elapsed time, signaling when there are 15 seconds left and when time is up. Time limits on answers will be strictly enforced. When you see the timer turn red and hear the chime, please stop. You're done. All right, I will change the starting order for each question, rotating through all the candidates. The order was determined to ensure a random and fair sequence. The order for the first question will be Mr. Smith, Ms. Frizzell, and then Mr. Hurst. So let's begin with the first question. Mr. Smith, what are the major responsibilities of the mayor's office and what skills are needed to perform them well?
Thank you very much for that question and for the League of Women Voters for putting this on. The main responsibility for the mayor of this city is to be the heart and soul of Linwood. We have a responsibility to not just to run the business that's called Linwood, but we are here to make sure that all the families in Linwood are represented. We represent everybody, every race, color, creed, etc., all the way down the line. And it is important for the mayor to represent them and then run the city in a business-like manner that is protective of all of our people here in Linwood. So if, as the mayor of Linwood, I am promising that I will represent you in all that we do here.
Thank you. And next we have Ms. Frizzell. Go ahead. The question, do you want me to repeat the question? You'll need to put yourself on talk. What are the major responsibilities of the mayor's office and what skills are needed to perform them well?
The major skills needed are communication, collaboration, and developing culture. And those skills are needed because the initial job of the mayor is to be the CEO and administrative officer of the city. It's also to implement policies created by city council, and it's to manage budgets. We need to build and maintain trust, both within the city, within our community, and with other cities, county, and state officials. The best advice that I received has to do with communication skills, and we need to be listening to everyone. I've heard listen until your ears fall off, and that's what I will be doing as we serve not only those people that voted for me, but all who live in Linwood.
Thank you. And Mr. Hurst?
Thank you for being here. So really the basic responsibilities of the mayor are fairly simple. It's to be the administrative head of the city, serve as the chair of the city council meetings, and create preliminary budgets. But I believe the most important responsibility of the mayor is to listen. Listen to the residents who elected you, listen to the city council, who is your partner in government, and listen to your staff who can provide insights into the everyday working of the city. When you listen, then the mayor can develop a plan that reflects the values of the residents, a plan that provides direction for the city council's policy decision, and a plan that guides the staff to provide a responsive and efficient government. You know, if you listen with empathy, then compromise and team building will follow. And that's the kind of mayor I want to be, someone that listens and someone that is ready to act together with all partners. Thank you.
Thank you. And candidates, I want to remind you to go on mute when you're not speaking. The next question is, what are 2 or 3 major issues that need to be addressed by the city of Linwood? Ms. Frizzell, you're first.
Great. One of the issues, the top issue in my mind, is diversity, equity, and inclusion. When I went to high school in Edmonds, Linwood area at Meadowdale High School, there was 1 person of color. Now our city looks so much different, and we really need to figure out how to cultivate inclusion in our city, especially in this post-COVID world that we have. Secondly, our finances. We need to comb our finances. I believe that they are in terrific shape, but there's always room to look at them again. And we need to make sure that we are being the best stewards of the community tax dollars. And thirdly, help our small businesses get back on their feet, help them to be prosperous, help them to be the best that they can be, better than they were pre-COVID. And I'm very committed to doing that.
Thank you. And Mr. Smith.
Well, the very first thing and the most important thing, because if I run out of time, I want to make sure we get through with this, and that is the most important thing is for us, for Linwood to be safe for all, no matter what your race or gender or age. Linwood has to be safe. I'll continue working with the police department, working with our citizens so that the people of Linwood can feel safe in their communities. We want to have great parks, but if we can't feel comfortable to allow our children to go into the parks because of needles or whatever else, nothing else matters if we're not safe. So anyway, the second thing is I want to be working on the street homelessness that includes the drug use. With doing that, that goes back to item number 1, keeping our city safe, and we can do a heck of a lot more to help our street homeless people. And then the third thing is,
I'm sorry, you're running out of time. Thank you. Let me see, where were we? Okay, Mr. Smith, you were last. So the next question number, no,
I didn't get to answer.
I guess we better let you answer then.
All righty, thank you. Hi. The number 1 issue for me is housing. Right now, almost all the housing that is being built in Linwood is either market rate apartments or $1 million homes. There are not any alternative housing options being built, like condominiums or apartments or duplexes, triplexes, townhomes. If we do not diversify our housing, we cannot diversify our neighborhoods. And without more housing, the root cause of homelessness remains the lack of a roof over your head. Second, business recovery from the COVID economy is so important for Linwood. Over 40% of our revenue is from sales tax. So if our businesses struggle, then balance our city's budget is a struggle. We as a city need to act as a partner and not just a collector of business fees and taxes. We need to reassess our business fees and determine if they encourage businesses to hire employees and provide these employees with wages that pay more than just the minimum wage.
Thank you. Now, the next question starts with Mr. Hurst. What qualifications and experience make you a strong candidate for mayor?
There we go. Well, during my 6 years on the city council, I've been able to serve on various regional boards and commissions. And during my first term as a council member, I focused on public safety. As chair of the Regional Fire Authority Committee, I was able to end 20 years of political stalemate, and the city now has a more efficient fire service through the South County Fire and Rescue. A year later, I spearheaded the compromise that consolidated 2 911 call centers in Snohomish County, ending call delays, expediting response times, and saving taxes. I think that just points out to the fact that I can have people, I can create a atmosphere of compromise. I think that's the important qualification for a mayor, that we need to be able to work together and reach a consensus for our policies. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, what qualifications and experience, please?
Well, as if anyone goes to my website, electjimsmith.com, they'll see that I have over 25 years on the Linwood City Council. I have been part of the heart and soul of Linwood, and my community involvement is 35 lines long of various things that I've done from day one of living, when I first started living here in Linwood. I've been chairman of various committees, but outside of the council, I have done things that no one else has done, including I was the one that started the Linwood Chamber of Commerce. And I am sensitive more so than anyone to taxes. We have so many taxes have been raised in Linwood, and I am dedicated to removing some of those taxes that hurt the most vulnerable here in Linwood. We tried to do that. I actually got a very small tax relief for Linwood, and then it got vetoed. And unfortunately, I was very disappointed that we did not have enough members of the council to override that.
Thank you. And Ms. Frizzell, your qualifications and experience?
My strongest qualification is my 40 years of finance experience. 3 years before I went on to city council, I attended finance meetings so I could learn how the city ran their finances. I've gone to seminars. I've been to a training session with the state auditor's office. I've completed the Association of Washington Cities Certificate of Municipal Leadership, all to get me ready for what's coming next. While I've been on council, I was appointed by my peers to serve 2 years as a South County Fire Commissioner following the formation of the Regional Fire Authority. I'm a lifetime learner. I am never the smartest person in the room. There's always somebody that knows more than I do. And I really appreciate learning from other people. I'm someone who rolls up their sleeves every day, and I work all day long for this community.
Thank you. Okay, here's that fourth question for which you will have 90 seconds each. And we'll start with Mr. Smith. What have we neglected? I'm sorry.
You forgot George.
Did I forget somebody in question number 3? I don't think so.
You started with George.
Yeah. So what have we neglected to ask that you would like to bring to our attention? We'll start with Mr. Smith.
Well, thank you for this opportunity, because something that really hits home with me is our environment. We are in our family here. We are very concerned. We do more recycling than we've ever done. And this has not been just a recent, now that we're running for office type of thing. We've been recycling right and left. But another thing that I think is extremely important is with all the campaigns, we have politicians throughout the spectrum in many situations that have talked about they want to be concerned about the environment, get rid of all the plastic straws, et cetera, and so on. But we've got all these darn plastic signs out there. So 2 years ago, when running for city council, I made a pledge, and we called it Ditching Plastic Feels Fantastic. And we have not done any campaign signs. We tried to encourage others to do that. So it kind of puts us at a disadvantage, but we're willing to fight through that so that those campaign signs will not be part of our landfills. So we will not have those plastic signs anywhere. And I would like to see more that would be willing to do that, to make sure that we do care about the heart and soul of Linwood. We do care about the people that live in Linwood first, not the big corporations, not the big, huge developers that's bringing in all these apartment houses and disregarding the single family houses.
Thank you,
I got-
Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
And Ms. Frizzell, you're next on what
Thank
have
you.
we, yeah, do you know the question?
I do.
Good.
I wanted to say thank you again for inviting us tonight. I think one thing that we haven't really nailed down is how are we going to work to create inclusion in our community? We talk about it, and there's still many people that do not feel welcome in Linwood. A wonderful group called our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission designed a sticker, and it says all are welcome. But sadly, a lot of people do not feel welcomed. I lived here and grew up here since I was in the 3rd grade. And I think that other people don't have that same experience of feeling welcome within our city. So I would say that this is the most important part as far as helping people feel safe, helping people with housing. We need to be reaching across whatever barriers are there, whether they're intended or unintended. If the system doesn't work for one person, it doesn't work for anyone. And I am committed to making sure that no one comes to me and gets a favor. If someone comes to me with an issue, I will refer them to the proper department and the proper system. And if the system's broke, then that gives us an opportunity to make it fair for everyone, no matter what their culture, no matter their social economic status.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Hurst.
Thank you again for having this forum. You know, in 2024, Linwood's going to have a light rail station with trains going in and out every 8 to 12 minutes. I want to make sure our residents, our roads, and our businesses are ready for this hub of activity. Right now, the current administration's policies only focus on the light rail station and what is known as the city center, which is really a small area in our city. But we need to make sure that those who live in Linwood now are not forgotten. These current residents want to know that their tax dollars are spent wisely. They want to have smooth roads, safe neighborhoods, and parks they can walk to so they can enjoy the open spaces. But there is another reality that we need to face. If you look at a map of Linwood that shows income levels and ethnic populations, you will see a segregated city. I want to make sure we have all kinds of housing available so community members of all incomes, whether they want to own or rent, will have more options for a home. Linwood has such great potential. I believe the next 4 years are a tipping point for our city. We need to embrace the growth that will come. We cannot return to the Linwood of 25 years ago. As your mayor, I will have policies in place that will make Linwood a city so that people will be able to work here, live here, and that this will become a regional center for South Snohomish County. Thank you again.
Thank you, candidates. This concludes our forum. A recording of this forum will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and our YouTube channel, and will be aired on KSER 90.7 FM. You can find the full schedule of candidate forums at League of Women Voters of Snohomish County. Excuse me, let me spell it out. This website is lwvsnoho.org. You can find a full list of the candidate forums. We encourage you to explore additional information about these and all candidates. The Snohomish County voter pamphlet will be mailed to residences starting on July 14th. The primary election ballots will be mailed on July 15th, and election day is August 3rd. Please vote. And again, thank you all for joining us.